No, 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 no heroes. Woo! No, 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 no heroes. No heroes, baby.
What's up, everybody? My name is Yo, and today we're gonna have a mirror match of the one and only Doflamingo. On the top, we have ARMAN, and on the bottom, we have LUKAS. It's been a while since I casted, but I am happy to be back again. This time solo, but I'll be fine. So yeah, ARMAN mirror match, aka ST17. If I remember correctly, Doflamingo versus the OG OP01 altered Doflamingo. Both with the new, at least I got my pair recently, NCL and noHEROES sleeves for the Don. And yeah, we see LUKAS set his top and kept them open. Maybe for two we're gonna see no teach, just a searcher, maybe for later. And let's see, it's gonna be a weaver. I mean, in this matchup, this is basically just a grind fest, trying to outvalue your opponent. Best case scenario, try to swing into their board while building yours. Weaver is, Weaver giving hand advantage. Jinbei, best cut in this scenario, and also cards like Law, bouncing back one of your opponent's cards and bouncing your searcher's back is pretty good. But yeah, I am really interested to see how this is gonna go. Sadly, we cannot see what ARMAN is looking at, but we're gonna find out eventually. But yeah, we're gonna see the pass. We're gonna see 3 done, 2 done, a teach, and here it begins. Using it, getting the Jinbei into ball. So yeah, that is good. 8k swing into the leader. We're just gonna take that. More cards in hand, and now the games begin. Okay, we're just gonna use blind leader ability, is what I would say, but we obviously set the top cards of our deck with Perona. But now we see no teach, and I mean, you could consider this as a bad situation. We're gonna see 7k into Weaver countering out, and we're just gonna see the leader ability into another Weaver, drawing a card, choosing not to use teach so he can get more cards in his hand, because cards in your hand are gonna be there to counter out attacks, and I think you will need every single card to protect your board. But I'm thinking if he's gonna take the hit, I would still assume that this swing is gonna go into Weaver, and yep, we're gonna see it being answered, and that's gonna be it. So now on the side of ARMAN, I mean, you would want to have a Jinbei to try to build your board as quick as possible. Trying to grind this matchup out is gonna be a tough thing. I don't think people are still playing Gravity Blade as they used to, but a Gravity Blade right now would be a miracle worker. We do see an 8k swing into most likely, Weaver, and we're gonna see another 8k swing and using leader ability and revealing a Boa Hancock. So from 8 we go to 9, and I'd assume that's just gonna be a swing into the ball. Thinking of what he wants to keep on top. gonna be. That's a lot of consideration, but I think it's not gonna be the easiest choice if it's not gonna be one of the three I mentioned earlier, being Jinbei, Weaver, and Law. Actually, the Boar is also pretty good, but the card has been put, and now, oh, sorry, now they've been placed, and we're gonna let go of that Boar, and we're gonna continue. 4 cards in hand, now 5 cards in hand. Bit of dawn to work with, and we just see 5k swing. Nothing attached to the leader. Is it time for Gravity Blade? I would be surprised. Is an argument. Would be pretty good in this situation. Yes, it wouldn't establish your bot. However, we're gonna see the 2k. And it is gonna be Gravity Blade. So I guess people still play that card. It's a pretty good card. I mean, considering that BY Luffy exists. But in the recent list that I have seen, people just cut the card, favoring Perfume Femur. But in this situation, pretty good situation to have in the middle. We're gonna see 7k swing into leader, into a Jinbei, and that's pretty good. Jinbei into Boar, an active Boar to say the least, which is also pretty good. Now making sure that the next turn you know what you're gonna draw into, but we're just gonna see 8k swing, resting for another Weaver, another card, and guess just one done to spare. No need. Just replay something. Now there's gonna be 3 bodies on the side of ARMAN with no bodies on the side of LUKAS. He's not a 10 done yet, so he cannot use Gravity Blade and lead ability. However, he for sure can use Gravity Blade and swing 7 into the Jinbei. Or even better, use Teacher's ability to put 2 vested on and play Crocodile, and using the effect to bounce back at 2 cost. Choosing to bounce back his own Perona. 7k into Jinbei, we're gonna let him go. There's an argument to be made that, okay, yes, you keep Jinbei up. He is now unrested, being active, and now he's just a threat to be dealt with. But another Gravity Blade would really hurt you in this situation. On the side of ARMAN, we're gonna see 4 and 6, checking what is in his trash. We're gonna see the Josu. Alright. I don't have a problem with that. Bouncing back Sengoku, okay. And then just replaying Sengoku. Maybe he does have the Teach in his hand, because if not, I would have picked Perona and just tried to set up the top few cards so I can swing with my leader. We do see that Weaver, so maybe he does have a Teach in hand. And of course, ARMAN is not the type to play reckless, so we do have that Teach in hand, using lead ability, getting that Weaver in, and yeah. And full board, 2 bodies that can swing, 7k to lead, and now we're gonna have Tendon on the side of LUKAS. Now he can use, if he truly wants to, another Gravity Blade. Would be hilarious if he had the third one in a row. But yeah, guess it's not gonna be Gravity Blade into lead ability. So we're gonna go into Sengoku, maybe trying to get some defensive options. That La would be pretty nice, bouncing back one of your searchers and then bouncing the Weaver back to hand. But we're gonna see and find a Boar Hancock. There's an argument to be made that you just hard play the Boar and then see what's on top and not use Teacher's ability, so you are healthy in hand size. But 7 cost Doflamingo is that was not on my bingo list. 7 cost Doflamingo being able to bounce back any 7 costs of your choosing, already touching the Dawn, but probably just gonna leave whatever he had on top of it and just gonna swing 8 into Weaver. And I think with 3 cards in your hand, it's a tough decision. But ultimately, having another body on the board would be pretty helpful. Usually he chose not to spend 3k, and that is gonna be the case again. But that 7 cost Doflamingo is really a threat, because right now you don't have an easy way to get rid of it. Yes, we're gonna see another Josu being able to bounce back Sengoku, I would assume. I mean, there's an argument to be made to bounce him back Corona, but we are just gonna use Teacher's ability. So playing back Sengoku, searching, finding the law, which is good. I would assume probably replaying the law. The question is, the law is just not gonna be quite helpful in that situation, because the best target he could bounce back is the Teach. Sengoku would be just enabling him a bit more. And I only see Teacher's ability attaching in total 4 done, swinging with leader, and it's gonna be Gekko Moya choosing to get back the Jinbei and preparing for the next turn. 9k swing into lead. That is just gonna be taken. And now LUKAS with a quite healthy hand. I think it was 8 in total. Choosing not to swing with the Josu because, well, he doesn't have rush. How would he? If you forget on me for that. But I think in that situation it's also good to have Josu active and not rested, because that 7 cost Dolphy would be threatening on his own. The only way to get rid of him is to swing over him, because unless a miracle happens and ARMAN plays Bedrock, which I would be surprised by, but we do see a swing and it's into life. Okay, that's something I didn't expect, considering that before we've been pretty much back and forth on trying to attack the board. Yes, he does have 10 Dawn open, and he can use a lot of Dawn to swing into the Gecko. But enabling ARMAN to say, hey, okay, well, you don't have any more swings to threaten me, I'm just gonna protect my Gecko Moya with another card in my hand that I got from my life. I wouldn't have expected that. So maybe there's gonna be another swing into ARMAN directly and not into the Gecko Moya on the board. So we see the Dawn being split, decisions needed to be made, but the first one, oh, okay. pudding. I did not expect that. I didn't keep track of ARMAN's hand count in that situation, but I'd assume he wasn't as healthy. Maybe at most he had 6 cards, but cards that you've been searching, we know that he had the Jinbei from the drop, from the trash, grabbed back by Gekamoya. So we're gonna say bye bye to that Jinbei. And with 6 down left, we're gonna see the board looking at the top 3 cards, setting it up, and giving a rested Don to your leader. Could swing 7 into the Gecko and use leader ability. He could swing 9 into the Gecko and use leader ability. There's a few options. He could split the Dawn if he really wants to, but he's just gonna swing 7, not using the teach. And there comes a Weaver. So, is it gonna be 7 into life? Or is it gonna be 7 into Gekamoya? I think either way, there's an argument to be made that you decide to be like, okay, you counter out. Maybe you found your pudding. Yep. I'd assume that it's just that went into the Gekamoya. Counter out. You play your own pudding. You just have 6 more done, or to be frank, you have 8 done to be able to be used, because if you use teach, get 2 extra done, and then you can just try to go for game if there wouldn't be a Boa Hancock. So, gonna see Perona, replacing Perona, looking at the top 5 cards. A bouncing law would be pretty good in this situation. Because I think we are at the point where contesting the board is not really a sufficient answer. Josu can contest the 7 cost, but Weaver cannot be contested without non-investment. So that's a tricky situation right there. But I mentioned it once, I mentioned it again. ARMAN does not miss. So I am eagerly waiting on how he gets out of this position. But with 3 cards in hand, it would be tough. Truly would be tough. A lot of consideration going in. I mean, if I'm ARMAN, if I look at the top 5 cards right now, I would assume I'm trying to use them with lead ability. So obviously, if I don't have Jinbei in my hand, I would take Jinbei and just try to get some cheese play in. If not, trying to get a law bouncing the Boa Hancock would be good. So trying to be more aggressive and maybe swing with a higher number. But all in all, I think in that situation you would rather have Sengoku getting you the card and drawing you it into your hand and using teach ability than just looking at a random card. So their decision will be tough to take. We don't see it. We don't see his face, but I feel like I can see it in his face. Again, Sengoku into teach would be a line where you have a bit more control on what you put on top of your deck than the spawner trying to reshuffle the top 5 cards, making sure that yes, the next card you find is probably a warlord, and the next card you draw will be a card that is of use to you. So 9 done left, putting 4 aside, maybe playing another Kabaddi, but we see the citation and the reminder to the hand that, yep, LUKAS has a pretty good hand, pretty healthy hand. A lot of ways to protect his board. And we're just gonna see Reaver drawing into one of the cards that we already knew, or at least that ARMAN already knew. 5 done, down. Potential to use teach and then lead ability. See 8, probably into Weaver, so we are gonna see 2 costs and a 1k. Cost and a 1k. Decision has been made, placing the Sengoku with a Sengoku. Now trying to find the piece that you need, but if all the things you can pick up is a 2k, that's tough. Plus he knew what he's getting himself into. He knew the top 3 cards of those 5 due to the Persona, so yeah, I don't think he found what he needed and what he wanted. Don't get me wrong, having a 2k in your situation would be pretty good, but that just also means now if he's gonna lead ability, he's gonna do a blind, or he's gonna go down in hand size again. So the more I look at this, the more I realize, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be it. You see the 6k swing probably into Weaver, but maybe also just into life, and he just doesn't want to give the free block away. That is also a possibility. We see the 1 block and a 1k, so that was a swing into life for sure. And we do see the lead ability. Revealing Jinbei, okay. But I wouldn't be surprised, because with 2 cards in his hand and him choosing not to play another card out of his hand, it's not a lot to be gained. And now this is gonna be a quick math game. 5, and ARMAN just takes his life and goes into the next game. Probably wondering, where were you, Law? Where were you? You've been hiding at the bottom of my deck. But I digress. With LUKAS having the tools to answer the board of ARMAN consistently with Gravity Blade, with the 7 cost, the Flamingo from, if I remember correctly, the starter deck 3. So a really, really old card, which I barely see, but still recognize after all. Yeah, ARMAN being now they decided who's going first or who's going second. I'd assume you wouldn't go first in the mirror, but we're gonna find out pretty soon. ARMAN chose to go second, okay. So we're gonna see a repeat of the first match, and basically Bagib as a in quote unquote worst Perona, looking at the top three and rearranging them. Perona looking at the top five, and then also leaving it there. No Sengoku, because why would you? We're gonna see another Teach using Teach and getting the bot on. Armor just already takes the life. There's no contest. He's gonna make a 8k swing, and with 4 done, Armor really. I mean, the best case scenario, you do the same thing, right? But you're gonna see Law, Jinbei into Law, bouncing your opponent and bouncing his boar, and just swinging for 5. And I was about to say, if you do not have that exact play, it looks pretty tough for you in that situation, because all of a sudden, yes, you want to do a Jinbei into Weaver, Jinbei into I mean, I guess Jinbei into Weaver would be the only line I would lose to this scenario, because if you play Law, you bounce back the boar. If you play boar, you just get your 1 done and then swing for 6. But this indeed was the best scenario. But with 5 done, we're gonna see a repeat, bouncing his Jinbei that he just swung with and bouncing the Pona, not Pona, Buggy, replaying the Jinbei with the Teach and getting the boar that we just have seen earlier. And that is gonna be another hit taken, and okay, gonna use the trigger. I cannot make it out if this is just him having another card because he just feels like it. He doesn't need another perfume. Maybe he already has one. Or him saying that, hey, my hand is not as optimal as I would want to, so I'm just going to use that draw one to make sure that I'm going to have fun in the next few matches and next few rounds, to be specific. So Bona being there to set up the next 5 cards. Prime time for the leader ability, 4 down left. We still didn't see an Teach on ARMAN's side. And right now, you would wish that you just have another Law to just basically deal with the boar and try to attack into the Jinbei, so he can be removed and not be rebounced and replayed with the Teach and the lead ability. The decision needs to be made. It will be made pretty shortly. However, I'd assume Arman's not just playing for this turn, he's playing and thinking ahead of the next turn to come and the turn after. So let's give the player some time. We all know there's going to be a time limit in place for the matches, so the players are playing as fast as they can without going into a deficit. And now choices have been made. We're going to see a 5k swing. Maybe Lucas is going to take the free block, putting his boy Hancock at risk. But considering that he's looking at his hand, he's just gonna let it go. Saying that, yeah, okay, well, that's no problem. If you want to establish board, swing into my life. I take it. I would take a 5. And I think Amon is thinking the same. So there is an actual argument to be made that we're gonna see just that, but nope. Gonna see a 7k swing and potentially Other swing, but since the decision already have been made, we're just gonna see a pass. Which I'd assume if you want to swing with Jinbei, you would swing fast with Jinbei, poke him for 5, he would take, and then poke him for 8, and he would take again, most likely. But that would leave your entire board rested, and we're just gonna see another pudding. ARMAN does not get to keep his hand in any shape or form. And not only does he not get to keep his hand, and the search that he made earlier has been voided, the rearrangement of his top deck is also been voided. So now he doesn't know what he's gonna get himself into. We see a 6k swing here, a 7k swing there, and I thought I was misseeing it, but it was a swing into life. We're gonna see another Weaver. That swing is gonna get counted out. There we see the shift in LUKAS perspective. Not trying to control the board this time, just trying to swing into life and get him down. And well, I guess it's pretty effective. I assume it is pretty effective. So now ARMAN with, if I'm not mistaken, 8 done. He should be considering, how would I get rid of this board? Again, the Gravity Blade would be pretty good, pretty nice. But sometimes, I guess you just gotta use your board, use your Don. You see the first swing, 6k, probably 6k into law would have been my guess, but the buggy just told me, yep, it is 6k into law. We see another, I think, didn't see how much, but it was interviewer this time, so that's not a problem. Is it gonna be? It ain't, right? Could use a bit of your Dawn to attach it to Perona. Situation 5, most likely into law. A law has been given. 7 Dawn left. I mean, there is an argument. We're gonna see payback time. We see the Gravity Blade and no swing by the leader, but considering that he still has his leader active, and he would rather have swung with the leader for 5 instead of with Jinbei, and I guess he put him for a sight. Might see another law being played down, bouncing the Sengoku and forcing him to bounce the pudding, and then just swing with his leader into the Perona, not the Perona, the Bo Hancock. However, yes, if you really want to do that, you can just do it now. It wouldn't matter that much. Or I could be wrong, and it's just gonna be Gravity Blade that is gonna be there to see the deal. Gonna see a start of what I said. Gonna see a law right here and there to ensure bouncing back the law and bouncing back the boy Hancock, and now swinging using the ability, replacing the Son Goku. I'd assume he's gonna bounce back. Okay, bouncing back to Jinbei. I don't mind. And bouncing back to Pudding. And yep, there's gonna be a 7k swing. This is a lot better than I expected. So with a shift onto the board, 3 bodies that can swing. Versus nobody that can swing. We finally see the teach on ARMAN's side. And LUKAS is on the back foot in this situation. I think 9 done to his name. Gravity Blade would be a saving grace. I give you that. But there are a few options that he can take. To turn this around. They be done efficient is the other question that I would ask myself in this situation. Honestly, in those kind of days, I wish it would be present and could see the hands. But sometimes life is not that easy. So I just need to think of what he could have in hand and be a bit more creative than just outright seeing his options. Counting. Okay, we see 4 done. See a boy Hancock. And re-evaluating what he can now do with the options given to him of his top deck. Yep. Leaving it there, probably attaching a Dawn. Attaching a Dawn to teach is not what I've expected. Not in the slightest. So this might just be a blocker law. Oh. Instead, we're gonna double down on it and attack the life. Yep. Asking for 3 cards. Not 2/2Ks in hand. Giving up a Mihawk, I think a Perona, and a Josu. But he got a pretty good board. But he also has only 1 card in hand, so that's a bit tough. Bouncing him right back. Not a problem. lead ability to just replay that law again and remove another card. We could then also just try to swing. Six done. You could do a lot. I think the first priority for ARMAN should be trying to clear the board. We see. Okay, we don't see a 5k swing into each. Instead, how would this go? We're going back on the plan, seeing a 5k swing to teach. And we're gonna say goodbye to teach. Using, deciding to just outright bounce him. Hedging 2 off the rest of done. Asking for cards in his hand. Gonna see a 7k swing. Oops. Another 7k swing. Revealing a Gecko Moria. Probably taking either the 2 cost, 2k. And we're just gonna take the 2k. No gym base to be revealed. So I'd assume that his hand right now consists of 1 Jinbei and 1 Mihawk. But his board, and of course Bounce Law, but his board consists of a few swings. And LUKAS does not have anything on board to respond to that. We do see a 7k, 7 don split, 7-3 split. So unless he's gonna use the ratio technique, he is gonna use Gravity Blade. Sleep ability. But it has been changed to 4 down and 6. So this might not be the case. Unless, I think in this situation, unless there is gonna be a Gravity Blade, making sure that the Weaver and one of the blocker bounce laws are being bottom decked, there's still the threat of you just dying next turn outright. But fear not, because Jinbei into Boa is there to protect you. And with 6 turn left, already 1 attached. There might be another Boa coming. But there's only a few things you can do with so few hands. So we see. I mean, it's good that the Boa comes in active, being able to block potentially. If we just neglect the fact that there's gonna be a bounce law in ARMAN's hand, still waiting to be used. So it's gonna be Jinbei into Weaver, matching the aggression with the board, and he attacked live. That's an interesting decision. Right now, Arman has his entire board full. He has 10 done. Could use 4 done to play. Actually, he just outright decides, yep, gonna use not the leader, not the ability of Teach to be done efficient, but just making sure that the law is on top. And now it's gonna be a matter of maths. The first swing has been accepted. We do know there's a board in his hand, but all in all, with the amount of done left, this might look like a game 3. Or he has it, and I'm just bad at math. This will ask for 2 cards in hand, but asking for 2 2Ks. So, unless I am mistaken here, there's no way for ARMAN to finish. Because yes, there's a law on the board, but we do need to be very that law, actually, the law that he used with his lead ability is already back in his hand. So now this is just a matter of 7-7. And we see the first 7, and we do not see enough. And it's gonna be a 1-1. So we did knew what he had in his hand with the ball. I'd assume the law was the last card he got from life, because if it would have been Perfume Fumer, he would have just used the trigger, because yes, he can block her up, but you have more cards on board. So if you can just make sure that you survive, you're good. But I digress. It's a 1-1 score. And we're gonna go shortly into game 3. Any minute. I wonder if Lucas is gonna decide to go second this time. Maybe I'm not seeing the tech, seeing the reason. I've been taught that Doflamingo wants to go first. He wants to put in the pressure, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Either you go first, get Teach into leader ability, or you go second and on 4 down you play Jinbei into Weaver, and you are a good man. Either way, we see Lucas is ready to go. ARMAN is. I was about to say is following. He is following. So, start of match 3, and it has been decided. ARMAN is destined to go second. We do see a Corona that can potentially change how this game is gonna go, making sure that there's gonna be a good card waiting for you on the second slot, because the first slot is gonna be the card that you draw for your turn. That is gonna be the pass. And, again, Sengoku searching, finding a 2K, and not showing a Perona. But you know how I mentioned the Perona search? Yeah, I guess it didn't matter because if you have teach, you're gonna use teach, bouncing your djembe to bounce the Perona, making sure that he's not vulnerable to any swings coming away, and also forcing ARMAN to swing into you, and you decide the pace of the game. And not trying to play any games, just outright playing a boar, making a swing. There is a decision. We see another perfume firma in live drawing a card, almost feeling like this is a I'm not gonna say it before the comments are gonna roast me to death. But back on track, 5 done, teach on the board, djembe in hand. Life could be good. Yep, we're just gonna see just that. See a 6K swing by law. Choosing to use that dawn that you got from your boar to attach onto your law, because the 2 dawn that you need are gonna be found by your teach. And 7 into life. We are not playing for board this game anymore. This is a matter of who's gonna go first. And at that pace, might be ARMAN, but if he got an ace up his sleeve, now's a good time to show it. Still don't see an teach on the side of ARMAN, so the plays with his leader ability are quite limited in that scenario. You are healthy in hand size, but even that against a blue matchup might not be the thing that you're looking for. We are seeing jumper into law, bouncing the ball, but right now I am not seeing the third dawn, so this is not gonna be a case of we're gonna use lead ability. Swing 6 into 5, I'd assume. It's gonna be answered by a 2K. Then we're gonna swing 7 into 5. Or we're just gonna swing 6 into 5. Getting what we need and playing another one-drop searcher. Interesting that he chose to swing into Crocodile and not into Law. Yes, I do know that there's a option, the possibility for Gecko Moya being able to get the Law back, and him being able to just use teach and get the Law back into play and then bounce him back and etc. But I would fear the worst outcome. Then I guess I would also fear Gravity Blade in that situation. And right now you need to play for your outs. But on the other hand, if ARMAN is fine, if he grabs 2K with Gekamoya, I guess it's not a problem. Either way, we're gonna see a 5K swing, probably into life, course, we established that we're not swinging into the board anymore. 1K swing, a 2K swing, and yeah, that is truly devastating. That is not a fun situation to be in for ARMAN. Eating another gravity blade, needing to say goodbye to two of the newest additions to this deck. Probably two of the reasons why this leader is so good right now, with Boa being able to set up the top life, being able to block, being a 6K, and Law being able to just bounce himself or bounce anything on your board to bounce a focus on the side of your opponent. Which is pretty good. And for modern, right now we are not choosing to use leader ability yet. We're letting him go. Catching 2 more. Getting Crocodile, using him to bounce back your own 2 cost. There was 1 cost. There was a bit of hesitation in deciding to bounce your Sengoku or the 2 cost teach, but another consideration, another draw 1 trigger. Now we're looking into the trash. We do see 2 perfume fumers, and yep, there's the 1 Dawn being used to get the searcher back, trying to dig deeper into your deck, trying to get those 2 bodies that have been bottom deck up there, even though I know that's not the intention, but it's a nice side effect of cycling your deck and finding another law. So now you don't feel that bad if he truly removes the board, because, well, you don't need to overplay one of your blockers. You don't need to overplay one of your searchers. You're good. And yeah, with 9 done, I wouldn't be surprised if LUKAS manages to have Gravity Blade back to back, then just swing 7 into one of the vested bodies. There is also the option of the 7 cost Doflamingo that bounces the 7 cost. But first of all, we're gonna see 1 done for our beloved searcher, looking 5 cards deep into the top deck. Also looking at the time. Swift decisions need to be made with 8 down remaining. Consideration, what he wants to draw, what he needs to draw. Whatever it is, it needs to be an answer to the board that is currently established. But right now, we're just gonna see a 2K. And Jinbei into Boa. Having a look again, rearranging, getting closer to the goal. But what will it be? I mean, right now he's on 2 cards in hand. So if he truly wants to use Teach, he would be down to 1 card in hand, which is a pretty tricky situation. So considering that, I don't think that he's gonna use Teach. And we're just gonna see a 9K swing. probably just deciding on where he wants to swing into. But whatever it is, he's not gonna think about countering that. We do see the gecko grabbing another law, and that's gonna be a goodbye to one of the Jinbeis. But sorry for me being absent for like a split second. Um, so I was in small shock, but seeing how many laws we have been searched, and we did knew about the law, so that's not the biggest surprise. Bouncing back, the only way of defense we had, and knowing that he also has a law, having a blocker up is not really the most worthwhile thing. Do see, however, 2 done and 1 down being test, and that's the only blind flip, and it is gravity blade. So that's tough for ARMAN. It is truly tough. But sometimes life is like that. We do know that whatever whatever LUKAS is gonna play is most likely to get removed in the next turn by ARMAN. Him finding his gravity blades for the first time, seeing it in his deck, because LUKAS have found his gravity blades and his removal answers a lot more times than ARMAN. But the hesitation comes, but we just take the life, and then we're just gonna flip back the gravity blade. Yeah, I'm looking quite healthy right now. 3 life, 3 bodies on the board. So I have future sight. I knew that he's not gonna block that and defend that. We do see the 7 cost. Do see the 7 cost Dolphy being played, and more bounce loss, and 7k into probably the crocodile. If you are ARMAN, you defend that, because right now you have 10 down, you have 2 5k buddies. It's a 10-10 split. We do know a few of the cards that he has in hand, due to him bouncing them back with the loss, and also being bounced back by ARMAN's loss. So you could make that calculated risk, because right now there's no way of you to get more down value. But on the other hand, you don't need to be an idiot like me and play it safe, because you're not in risk of dying yet. Okay, we do see a Jinbe, probably a Jinbe into Weaver would be good, and I do believe he bouncing his searcher in favor of bouncing the Jinbe. That's ballsy. And yep, another search. He should, however, have 4 done, unless I'm mistaken, because right now he only used 6. He played the Sengoku. He played Jinbe for 4, and he played another Sengoku. So he should be on 4 done. But sadly, we are not really leaning into that part. So trying to keep the board smaller, trying to establish your own board. It is a pity that one done has been gone unused, but this is how life goes. However, on the side of LUKAS, free bodies, free life on ARMAN side. So on your side, there's no lethal potential either. So I guess we hope that you have Gravity Blade in your own hands, because if not, it's tough. We do know that if LUKAS commits of just playing board, playing blockers, that he's gonna get mad, and he's gonna be mad by Gravity Blade of ARMAN. Because if we remember correctly, or if we remember earlier, ARMAN whiffed his leader ability with a Gravity Blade, and it didn't magically vanish. So it is there. It is there to make sure that his life would be a mess if he decides to go double blocker. But I don't think that's gonna happen nonetheless. Do look at the top 3 cards and potential that we might want to not use Teach's ability and go lower in hand size. A lot of consideration is gonna be made. I think we're gonna find out shortly who's gonna be the victor of this game and of the entire match as a whole. It's still 1-1. If you're gonna see a swing into the crocodile, there's no contest. We just let him go. Gonna see him 4 more done. Play a Weaver. $5K swing. 5K swing into lead. Yep. Just gonna take that. No trigger. Gonna swing 7. Gonna swing 8 again. And yeah. 3 cards in hand. Three cards in hand. 10 done on ARMAN's side. We do know that he has Gravity Blade. If he has Law, I think that would be it. Nevertheless, because Jimber can swing, his Law can swing, his leader can swing. That should be more than enough to find salvation. But that is not the case. We're gonna swing 7. And this is just gonna get blocked immediately. Well, yes, we're gonna have 5 more extra. We're gonna swing 7 again. Being answered. It's gonna be another 5. I'm just gonna take it. And I think that's gonna be game. So, yep, ARMAN, the victor, going into this week 4-1, and that was me. Hope you enjoyed this commentary, and we're gonna see you pretty soon. I'm trying to relay what was his last life, the perfume fumer, the gravity blade. But yeah, that was it. In the end, LUKAS, even though he had a great start, did not made it to the finish line.